Hey guys, I realized I'd never showed the process I used to build forge burners. I came up with this design several years ago. It's a pretty good design. It's really fast and easy to build, and it works very well. I've definitely had as good a performance as I've gotten with the T-Rex burner with these, and the T-Rexes when they were available were pretty pricey. So anyway, so this is the burner here, and it's just a piece of 1 inch black pipe. These are 3/4 inch holes. You can also just, if you have a miller, mill off a slot right here. The only real critical measurement is here to here. It needs to be 8 inches. The injector is made from a piece of 1/8 inch Schedule 80 black pipe right here. And that looks like this when I get it. I get a 6 inch nipple and I cut it in half, and then I thread the end with this. This is a off-size tap. It's a 1/4 24, not a 1/4 20, not a 1/4 28. 1/4 24 available from McMaster-Carr. That is the same thread as a MIG tip. So you thread the inside of this with a MIG tip, and then you end up with an injector like this. And then I usually use gas-safe Teflon to seal that. The only other thing I need to make are the choke, which is just a piece of pipe that slip fits over the top. I believe this is 1 1/4 inch. Tubing, right? And then I'll thread one hole in that so I can just lock it in place. And I usually make another one of these to mount to the burner to the assembly, to the forge as well. And then one of these. Now this you could make on I make all this stuff on a lathe, so it's concentric, but you could do it also just by kind of hand drilling carefully in a drill press. This is 1 inch stock, 1 inch round stock. Cross drilled with a drill. It's just barely a slip fit for this. Now you got to measure it. The last ones I had were slightly thicker, so these are actually a little oversized. I'm gonna have to redo these. This gets put into the end of the pipe, and then I use this, which I made, which is just 1 inch stock with a cap, and I drop my tube in there, screw this way, like that, weld that on top so it stays concentric, and then I'll drill and tap one hole to hold the burner or the injector in place. Pretty easy. Like I said, these don't take long. The only thing you got to make ahead of time is this guy, which again, be better if you do it on a lathe, but you can just drill that hole and put a little piece of stock in there, or for that matter, you can kind of eyeball that and keep it as straight as you can, and then drill 4 holes or 3 holes so you can kind of center that burner in there. The injector really wants to be as centered as you can make it, and when you set this up for the first time, you want to have, I don't know if this will show, that burner wants to be right in line with the front of the orifice. You can adjust the mixture a little bit by moving this back and forth. I find this burner runs best on an 040 burner, or 040 MIG tip, which is probably like 045 actual size. It will run stable on 045. It runs a little bit rich, and it'll also run stable on 035, but it runs a little lean. So 140 seems to be the happy medium on this one. I'll get some video of me building the parts for this and edit them all together, and hopefully that helps you guys. I'll put the call out sizes on the description. See you. I'm going to test fire this burner. I've assembled everything. I have my injector assembled into my nozzle. I've created a connection here to my quick disconnect. And I made both a choke and I've made a little nozzle for the front to stabilize the burner. This is just the same size of the choke, and I'm offset it from the end about 3/4 of an inch. This lets me test fire the burner and check to see if it's working properly before I put it in the forge. I'll probably need to tune it again when I put it in the forge. I have this running at 5 psi. Get it lit. That's a pretty good neutral flame right now. We want to look for a nice even cone, a good sound, a nice roar. And I want you to see a little bit of unburned gas in that orange kind of cone around the main flame. If it's very lazy like that, we're not getting enough air. This is not going to heat your forge up all the way. So between like that, it's an okay flame, probably needs a little bit more air. Lean the flame out a little bit by moving the injector back some. Okay. It's a little longer and a little more ragged. This will not be stable over the run. They usually run best within a little bit of that edge. Have this about a 16-inch back. Now that I know it's stable at 5 psi, I'm going to run the gamut down and see how low I can get it to run. That one's running all the way down to about 1 psi. Oops. Didn't like Tank Max. That ran up to about 26. Reasonably stable. That's running from about 1 to 2 psi all the way up to about 20 psi, 25, which I bet if this is in a forge, the back pressure will let me run up all the way to 30 if I want. I shouldn't have to run this burner that hot to get it to forging temperature. The adjustments are the orifice size, where it's placed in here, the amount of offset of back pressure here, and you just play with those three things until it works right. The critical measurements on this are this length, you have the mixed tooth the right length, and having enough oxygen pulled through. I've done 3/4 inch holes, slots. This one here is just 2 sets of 3/4 inch holes, and this one runs just as hot. I have another burner over here that's running slots, and it runs just as good. So play with the basic design, give it a shot. See you next time, guys.